Good morning. Free agent frenzy, Wednesday, July 28th. Before we get started, Canucks After Dark is live at 10 p.m. tonight. Just search for it. It's in the description. It's an hour-long podcast with Canuck Clay where we'll discuss all the free agent moves tonight live, 10 p.m. Pacific. But one of the moves we'll be discussing, Jaroslav Halak. Looks like he will be signing a one-year deal with the Vancouver Canucks to become the backup goalie behind Thatcher Demko. And look, every move the Canucks have made this offseason has sort of hinted like, all right, we're trying to make a push this year. We're going to try to make the playoffs at least this year, and this one is no exception. And this is a pretty freaking good deal, in my opinion, if Jaroslav Halak continues his play. Now, look, he's 36 years old, which has some red flags, but it's a one-year deal. So worst case, you're getting a backup goalie, and if he has the worst year of his career, he won't be a great backup goalie. But if he's been anything like he's been recently, he'll be fine. And this is sort of a tidy piece of cap management, kind of, from the Canucks. Look, the Holtby contract from the beginning wasn't great, right? $4.3 million, didn't get taken by Seattle in the expansion draft, so they had to buy him out, right? And if you missed my video yesterday, the buyout cost is $500,000 this year, so basically nothing, $500,000 off the cap, and then $1.9 million next year, which kind of hurts, but it's not the end of the world, right? $2 million next year. The Luongo recapture comes off the books next year anyways, kind of pays for it. Now you're bringing in Jaroslav Halak at a rumored $1.5 million for 1 year, and with a potential $1.5 million in bonuses. Now, keep in mind, the Canucks are probably going to be capped out, so any bonuses that he earns can go towards this year's cap if there was any room, but since there likely won't be, it'll get pushed to the cap next year. So if Halak tears it up, and this would likely come down to, we don't know exactly what the bonus structure is, but if it came down to like Demko getting injured and Halak having to play like 40 games or something, I'm sure that would have a big chunk of it as well. So that's fine. Bonuses are fine because he'd have to perform really well to earn them, and then we would be happy anyways. So Halak making $1.5 million after the Canucks have basically bought out Holtby's contract to save $3.8 million this year means net in goal, that's kind of a weird way to say it, but in goal, the Canucks are saving a net $2.3 million off the cap this year from making this move. That's $2.3 million that, and then you add the Schmidt contract that they got rid of, the Louis Ericssons, the Jay Beagle, and the Antoine Roussel contracts, and all these contracts that they've shipped out. They've now cleared up another $2.3 million by shuffling around their goaltending. And I think this is a really tiny move. You've saved $2.3 million this year. You've added $1.9 million next year. Kind of a wash, but in that wash, you've added Jaroslav Halak instead of Braden Holtby, which in my mind is an upgrade. Look, Halak's 36 years old, but Holtby has had a bad last 2 seasons. Halak has been really good. So he's played the last 3 seasons in Boston. In his first season of Boston, 2018-19, he had a .922 save percentage while he was like 33 years old, I guess. And then last year, or 2019-2020, the season that got shortened by the pandemic, he played 31 games, had a .919 save percentage and 239 goals against average. And last year, a little bit worse, but he only played 19 games. He still put up a .905 save percentage and a 2.53 goals against average behind Tuukka Rask. So he has been sort of a 1B, but mostly a number 2A. And he's been really good for Boston. And it's so low risk here. You're getting a guy who is 36, but in his 33, 34, 35-year-old season, he was still really good. So, I mean, the decline can't be that sharp, right? He's going to have a limited workload. He's probably going to probably appear in something like 27 games or so. If you assume that Demko starts about 55, could shift a little bit depending on scheduling. I haven't looked too deep into the schedule to see how many back-to-backs there are, but I've heard the Canucks have more rest days than normal, so that's good. But looking at this, I mean, this just seems like a tidy piece of business. Jaroslav Halak will be nicely behind Thatcher Demko, and he's a guy who, when he goes out to start a game, you still have a pretty decent caliber goaltender coming in to fill that spot while Demko is on the bench. That's kind of all I've got here. I really like this deal. It's a smart deal. $1.5 million on the cap this year. and it saves money, and it really opens up the cupboards for the Canucks to make some more moves throughout the rest of the day. Now that they've cleared up that Schmidt cap space, they have their backup goalie locked down, and really they have a few things left to do. Pettersson, Hughes, and Dickinson, RFA deals, and they need to go stock the cupboards on defense, and they need to go stock the AHL team because there's only like 12 players left on the AHL team. Looks like Brad Hunt is going to be an option for the AHL team, so keep your eyes on that throughout the day. And keep your eyes on my channel throughout the day as I drop videos whenever the Canucks make any big signings. If it's an AHL signing, I'm not going to cover it. But if it's a Brandon Sutter in the rumors, Travis Hamonic still in the rumors, some other guys as well. So keep posted here. You can subscribe with the button down below, hit the like button, do all that good stuff. And I'm sure I will see you later on today.